Hi everyone, this is Reki. I wanted to show you what happened to my auto yard safe house during the last update. So, as you can see, I still have all of the vehicles I've collected. I still have all the vehicles I have repaired. The ones that are pulling various different cars are still connected to those vehicles. However, as you can see, there are a great number of these broken down vehicles that have returned. The auto yard itself is in a very big state of disrepair. We had vehicles spawn that were not here originally. Many of these were mine already. And we had some zombie repop. See the blood up here? Now, the worst thing of all that has happened is that the trailer has reset itself. And if you recall from previous videos where I was using Gilda here for tutorial purposes, I had built a shed over here with a door that led back into a storage area behind here, and a door that led forward around this side of the porta potty, which I had mostly dismantled. There were a few pieces left that required the sledgehammer. And I had built a bedroom with a door right here. And as you can see, all of that's gone. Furthermore, I had done all of this work by clearing this entire forest. All of this off to the side here, all of this leading back to what is a farm behind here was all gone. I had used all of the wood to build all of these structures. I had also built second level with a water reclamation above this area, which is where I had sinks. And as you can see, this is totally reset. There's no storage in here any longer. I had a sitting room in here with a TV. I had cabinets and a full kitchen in here. All of it has been removed by the latest update. I do not know why that's the case, because the other locations that I have are still intact in various stages. So let's have a look at them. This one was the one that was the most badly affected. And I'm going to quit out and we're going to reload. This is the same game. I had 3 different characters in it. The one at the auto yard is the one that I started with. In order to get back to this game, I have to go to load and select the correct sandbox. This is Gilda here. And then I go to more and I select which character I want to use. So we were just looking at Gilda Garber. Gilda Equipment is the one that I have over at the American Tire in West Point. So we'll have a look at that and we'll see how much damage we've got going on here. Alright, so it looks like the interior of American Tire is still okay. This all looks pretty much the same. I did not do any actual construction in here, so I'm not entirely sure why this wasn't affected, but as you can see, all the things that I've been sorting are still on the ground. I still have, well, I did put shelves up, maybe that counts. I still have the beginnings of the kitchen in here the way I left them. Things on the table from when I did the last tutorial. I did add these shelves on the wall and I took down the clock, so maybe it's counting that as player construction and that's the reason the actual building did not reset. We have shelves and stuff on the floor in here still. We have vehicles that are here in order to be repaired, and I started putting in more shelves down the side here. I may take this bay out in the future. Upstairs, still the same as I left it. So it looks as if the actual interior of the location was considered a player claimed area, and it didn't change it. Let's have a look around at the perimeter. I had started, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I had started building a fence, and I had started taking down trees. So let's have a look at this area and see if it's still the same. And it looks as if the start of our fence is gone. I don't see it any longer. And you can see the white area is the area I previously explored. And the white area indicates also where I removed trees for various different types of construction. It looks like the fence is gone. Oops, I'm caught in the weeds here. Get myself going. And there's the tree line. Looks like this tree line is still intact. I don't think I actually did any cultivation over in this area, so that's expected. And we will head around here, around through these trees, and as you can see, I'm following pretty much the same line I followed. I have a little bit of regrowth here, so it's possible these are trees that are coming back that I had already removed, or perhaps they're just expanding out. I don't see any zombies, so that's good. Give myself a bit more momentum again here because this grass is holding me back. More trees here. This tree line is pretty much as expected, although I think I did actually cut down some trees in this area. It looks like all of these trees are back. There were no trees in that middle area. That whole white area was clear, and now it's forested once more. And the tree line continues. Yeah, it looks like this is all filled back in, and there's no sign of any construction that I did around the perimeter. So it looks like for this particular location, exterior player construction that was incomplete has been removed. We'll verify by double checking it's possible. I put some of it up here, or I started up here by the road, or around the actual backside, just to cover vulnerabilities, but it looks as if no player construction remains. So this location is partly intact and partly not intact. Alright, now I have since played Rosewood, so I know that Rosewood is intact, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log out Gilda and show you Rosewood. I don't understand why the update did this. If it had anything to do with, for example, which character I was playing at the time, then I would assume that the player construction at Rosewood would remain, and all of the other changes that I made on other characters would be gone, which means that, like the trailer, this location should have been reset, but it wasn't. So I'm very confused by this behavior. It does not seem to be logical. It doesn't seem to follow a logical pattern. So we'll go ahead and we will load that same save game up again. As you can see, it updated to show Gilda because it saves right before you exit or as you exit. So this is Gilda equipment in the American Tire location. And what we'll do is we'll swap over to May out at Rosewood. and we'll load that. And you should see that this location is completely intact. I was playing it just a few hours ago. And the difference with this location is that, well, that's weird physics. This location is also surrounded by a wall. And I will show you. Here's the wall that I built. And as you can see, some of the windows are open and some of them have bars. I'm in the process of closing them so zombies can't get in, but I can still see out. But this side was a fence that was part of the original build of the firehouse. It was fenced on 3 sides and the front was not fenced. So all I had to do was actually build this fence here. I added in strategic walls so I could get a pretty good view of the road. See if there are any zombies out here. I added in a pair of doors. And then this particular fence hooks up over here to the other side of the metal fence that surrounded the location. So this is all intact. All of the changes that I have made inside are intact. And so obviously this can't be an issue where it sees other characters as being why are you not? Oh, because I'm on this side, that's why. There we go. Let's close that up. My concern was that it was going to see one character as being the playing character and the others, their locations would be white because they weren't active at the time. However, that doesn't appear to be the case because the location, the interior location of 2 of my 3 characters is still intact. And the only thing I can think of is that it has to do with how it's seeing player construction. Now, I cut out several walls in this location. So the interior location has been changed greatly. I took out all the walls that prevented me from being able to see from one end to the other. I basically left the rooms mostly intact in case I wanted to organize with them, but I didn't like the ability for zombies to hide in the corridors. And for the most part, if I couldn't see in because there wasn't glass, then I just took the walls out and made it easier to see. The only exception being some of these small like linen closets, but you can stand in the hallway and turn around and actually see in the doorway, and that's okay. And I did the same thing up here because there was this weird shower thing going on up here, and this whole area back here was enclosed, and this was a series of showers that zombies could hide in, and the doors would be closed, and they're very small and it's very easy to get caught back here and killed. So I cut out anything that I thought, like the wall that was here, prevented you from just being able to see the whole area. I cut out the wall to this bedroom, and I mostly left the areas that I liked or felt had enough room to remain intact. This has enough room that if a zombie was in this corner, you could still run away and get enough distance before killing him, that sort of thing. I don't like being in enclosed spaces with zombies. So my only thought is that perhaps the reason the structures themselves remained were because both structures, this one and guild equipment structure, had a small amount of changes made to the actual structure, whereas in the first encampment at the auto yard, the character there did not have access to the sledgehammer yet and was unable to knock the wall out between the bedroom I had built and the trailer. Therefore, it was not seeing it as a player space. So when the update happened, it reset it back to its original state, thinking that it was an original location. Now, personally, I don't agree with that. I have the respawn of loot turned off, and I have the respawn of zombies turned off, specifically because I don't want my structures to suddenly change in the middle of the night when I'm not paying attention. I want to be able to go into a structure and know that the structure isn't going to update itself. It's not going to create loot in cabinets and suddenly eat everything that I've bothered to organize. So this behavior is not favored by me. I really don't like it. And it's also confusing because if this has to do with actual player construction, as you can see, I haven't done any player construction in here. The only thing I've done that could be considered player construction prior to knocking these walls and doors down would have been that I had a break-in at a front window in the room across from the office here, which I guess was a conference room. And what I did was I barricaded this window to prevent zombies from coming in again. None of this addresses why the exterior wall here remained, but the exterior wall at American Tire did not. And I don't know if it's because the exterior wall here is complete, even though it hooks into this previous construction, or if the reason it's considered complete is because it hooks into player construction. All of these are vague questions that I can't answer. All I can say is Site 1, which was at the auto yard, has been totally demolished and is going to have to be rebuilt by the character there, which is very discouraging. Site 2, the interior site is intact, but the exterior construction is missing. And this one, all of the construction is here and has been left intact. So keep in mind, maybe you need to completely enclose something and get it done quickly before updates happen. Or maybe you just need to throw barricades over a window to make sure you don't lose your safe house prior to things updating. I don't know what to tell you here. I just know it's a problem, and I hope it's one that they address, because as much as I like to play multiplayer, I also like to play solo games, and the solo games things are definitely not correct if you're running more than one character. I hope this helps you, and hopefully it'll help the developers kind of figure out what's going on, because I'm kind of upset about this whole thing. So I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.